Yeah, I mean, that's always the most important, just as a parent, just as a parent, period. Just like let the coach do what the coach does. We sit as fans, like fans, not parents. You gotta sit in the stands as fans, not parents. Because what as parents we don't realize what we do is we actually make it worse. Because you're calling a play, we think he's gonna shoot the ball, pass the ball. Like now the coach, now they don't know, now the kid doesn't know where to look. Like, who, do I supposed to look at the coach or do I supposed to look at the parent?
Welcome to another edition of No Chill with Gilbert Arenas. I'm Mike Botticello. Over there is Gilbert Arenas.
I knew you were going to do that.
I got you on that. If anyone's looking for the proper pronunciation of your name, probably never really been done before.
No.
And something to tackle. Because we have another name that's tough to tackle, but I think I got it. Andre Chevalier.
Yes, you do.
Head coach of Sierra Canyon. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
And, you're right in our backyard. We've had Amari Bailey on. We've had other alumni, Cassius Stanley. So let's just get right into it. What's the biggest misconception about the program?
I think when kids are watching us, they think it's easy to play at Sierra Canyon. I think that's probably the biggest myth when the kids are looking at, I want to go there or should I go there? They think it's all fun and games because we're on television, we get gear. But it's a monster to play at Sierra Canyon. Practice is not easy. Travel's not easy. Playing against the top teams in the country, it ain't easy. So I think that's probably the biggest myth that I have to deal with. Parents think it's easy.
And you could see that as just from a hooper's perspective, it's like, yo, there's a lot of levels to this thing.
Yeah, it's like little rock stars. I mean, especially here in the Valley,
Yes, sir. Yes,
here in the Valley, I mean, you're talking about a team that's bigger than Crenshaw, Westchester put together. So it's crazy because even my daughter, Isela still goes there. Elijah doesn't anymore.
Baller, by the way, both of them were ballers.
Yeah. So he used to go there, and it used to be just like, we're going to the Sierra Canyon game.
Yeah.
Like, what? That was the thing to do.
Yeah, for sure.
That is the thing to do.
So what's the best part of the teams that you've had over the last 4 years?
That we won championships, obviously. And then obviously, I think that I had NBA kids, play for me, and just having, the access to NBA guys, like, Gilbert, what do you see, right? Because I'm seeing a certain thing, but from the NBA perspective, they might be able to give me a tidbit or, you need to change your style of play in this certain thing. Or the thing that Scottie Pippen and Kenyon used to tell me, take their ass out the game. If they're not doing what you need to do, take them out. So I think having NBA people to talk to and, bounce ideas off of has been wonderful. My administration is amazing. So, being able to work for a place that understands what we're trying to accomplish and giving us the ability to be able to do that has been wonderful. All of the Nike gear that we get is kind of nice. So there are definitely a lot of perks. So I'm very happy to be there. After my stint at Cleveland High School and then Oaks Christian, this place is like the culmination of all as far as academics, athletics, the arts, the administration has been wonderful.
And that presence of parents with their players that were former NBA players, guys like Scottie Pippen, Kenyon, LeBron, obviously. Gil, you recognize that as a player that we're not going to really get in the coach's way. If we want our kid to succeed, we got to let him, do what he's here for.
Yeah, I mean, that's always the most important, just as a parent, just as a parent, period. Just like let the coach do what the coach does. We sit as fans, like fans, not parents. You got to sit in the stands as fans, not parents, because what as parents we don't realize what we do is we actually make it worse. Because you're calling a play, we think he's gonna shoot the ball, pass the ball. Like now the coach, now they don't know, now the kid doesn't know where to look.
Exactly.
Like, who do I supposed to look at the coach or am I supposed to look at the parent? You know what I mean? Yeah. So you have that instead of just saying, listen, hey, y'all coaching, y'all playing. I'm just here watching.
Definitely.
I'm gonna be on my phone. I'm gonna be playing app games while I'm watching you do something. Ooh, if I miss it, someone caught it on the camera. But I don't
No
want to
doubt.
be, I don't want to be that type of parent that the player's sitting there looking, and then on the bench they mad sitting there, and you talking about like, nah, that's all contradicting to what is supposed to be. Like, if you have a coach that's very particular, and you're not doing what you're doing, and you're sitting on the bench, you have to go through that experience. You know what I mean? Or you're gonna have a bunch of prima donnas, and when a real coach hits their system, they fold. So growing up, you gotta have every single element before you get to the peak of whatever you're trying to get to.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, the NBA guys understand the process. So they're the ones that's out of the way most of the time. They don't tell me what to do. They don't give me ideas. They're like, if you need me, call me. Otherwise, they just let me coach, and it's been a wonderful thing. So that experience has been great for me.
And that's the thing to navigate. There's times where you need that input or you welcome that input, and there are other times that this is my playbook, this is my strategy, this is what I'm gonna do. And you have to be at peace with that.
Amen.
Yeah, because you gotta remember, I've had a Park League coach, a bunch of AAU coaches, a high school coach, a college coach, an NBA coach, and he gets fired. So we've been through every single coach. So to come all the way backwards, we know not to interfere. You have to go through that. So that's what I try to tell parents. Listen, I've been there. Because they're like, why you don't tell a coach? You know he benched Elijah 8 minutes? What you telling me for? I'm not the coach. That's the coach. Go talk to him. You think my son should be playing? Go talk to him. That ain't got nothing to do with me. Yeah. I've been benched before, so I know how to respond. Right. He has to respond. He has to do what the coach says for him to get on that court. That's the process. But if you've never been through that situation, you don't know the process, so you're interfering with the process.
Now, the other key element of this is the kids. Mm-hmm. And knowing that they step into this high-profile program, there's a lot of pressure on them, and I think, I like to say this, pressure's only pressure if you feel it. Mm-hmm. So some of them can handle all that, handle all the circus, handle all the sideshow that's going on with celebrities at the games and being on national TV. Other ones, that's gonna be tougher on them. So how do you help them get through that pressure?
Well, I always say that, nobody's gonna put more pressure on me or us than we put on ourselves. We have a high expectation coming into the game, coming into the season. The expectation is to win state titles every year. And now it's to win national titles. So we put that pressure on ourselves all the time. And the experience that they get throughout the year, playing in NBA arenas, playing on television, like the media writing about them, the media following us everywhere we go. That pressure gives them the experience that they need throughout the year to be able to perform at the end of the year when it's important.
Yeah.
I mean, you can also, as a player coming up, when you get to the highest level, you're getting an exposure to that early.
Yeah, you don't get shell-shocked. I didn't even really think about that. The media and all that, because, any other high school, you don't get those type of exposure. So if you did make it to the state championship, and then now you used to 400 people in the stands, now there's 20,000, that can really this is overwhelming. Yeah. But if you're one of those teams where you are in NBA arenas and the camera's following you, it's just a natural day. So going to college, doing interviews, it becomes a smooth sailing. To that point, we actually try to do everything that we can at Sierra Canyon to prepare kids for college, right? So when BJ went to Kentucky, he wasn't shell-shocked because he's playing in front of 14, 15,000 already. Mm-hmm. And so the Big Blue Nation wasn't a surprise for him. Obviously, they're not playing in front of fans right now, but we try to give them every experience so that when they step into the college atmosphere, arena, practice floor, they're ready to go.
You're getting the best shot from the teams that you're playing against, but then you have that extra opponent that is, all the eyeballs on them and all the extra attention that they're getting. So it's like you have to coach against two different opponents.
Cameras everywhere. And you know that these kids want social media posts or content. They're trying to build their brand, so they're playing sometimes looking for the camera. Or it should be a basic layup, but they're gonna try to do something fancy and put some spin on it, so that they can get likes. So we definitely are dealing with the social media aspect of it, but it's the time that we live in. So we embrace it. And I think that's the difference. Like, we run to it, and most people are running from it.
Okay. Was the school itself ready for this team for the last 2 years?
No, we were not. Nah, the school wasn't ready. No, I don't think that you
wasn't prepared.
Yeah, you can't even imagine. Like, I don't think you can prepare for this. Nobody knew it was going to be what it was. So I don't think that the school could prepare. They were super surprised at the amount of attention that we started to get. Even before LeBron got there, you know, that team with Cassius and KJ and Scotty, Dwayne Washington started getting crazy recognition. And so it just like, it snowballed so quickly that they didn't know it. So
because I was like, because I don't know if you guys did it, but heard you guys were going to move your home games to Northridge.
We did last year, but we definitely need some more gym space. So we're going to be knocking on the Rangers door. Help us with this gym real quick. But yeah, we find a way to work it out though. But the school definitely they were not prepared, but they're trying to get there though.
I was going to say, because it's almost been an evolution of this. Like, you had the famous kids that were there before just as students, you know, Jamie Foxx's kids and Diddy's kids. And then you have, you know,
But it all came at the same time.
Then it became the team got better, and you had Drake at the games and the Kardashians.
No, but what I'm saying is you're still talking about within the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Because you're talking about 5 years. Diddy kids are still there.
They were there, yes, 5 years ago.
His oldest son was there, but the girls are still there. Now you got the Kardashians there, like you got the Carts there. So, but that's the lower campus. But the big campus, you got to remember, you still got regular students too. And there's no field for PE. So what ends up happening, it affects the basketball team because now the gym becomes their PE area. So now, you know, all the basketball players are sitting there like, what? What? Go! Like, you know, so it was one of those things like, oh, they didn't think about this one. Yeah, that's the one thing I'd be like, I know they got to try to change it, or they're trying to find a way to build something that can accommodate the regular students. It's accommodate the regular students.
Yes.
Get them away from the basketball arena.
Gilbert can say that. I can't. We welcome everyone that's here, and we embrace all of it.
This is a man who's been down that road quite a ways.
Exactly.
But what you said is embracing it, embracing all of these things that are going on that not every coach probably would be willing to sign up for. And I think that's something you can appreciate is, you know, you want that coach that's going to have your best interests at heart, even if it goes against like the old school way of thinking.
You know, it's a coach that's had success, had a player that is not a black and white player. He's a grayer. He's a super athlete, and dealing with him, you know, and that player teaches you things about yourself, which you get to, you know, learn, and you get to adjust, and that takes you. So when you see that player again, you know what not to do and what to do, what was successful and what wasn't. So, you know, well, your first player was Nick Young, you know, so that type of athleticism, that type of player helps him with this next, you know, group, you know, so it's, you know, like it's just an experience of what that coach has been through.
And who you just said, it was Nick Young, it was not Swaggy P. You didn't have him, that kind of Nick yet.
Oh no, Nick's Swaggy P name came in high school.
Oh, it was?
Yes, he created that in high school. He didn't bring it out for a couple years when he was in the league.
Oh, so it was Swaggy P in high school.
Swaggy P came about in high school for sure. So
wow,
I knew Swaggy before the nation knew Swaggy.
I thought it was a Laker thing.
Yeah, he's been hiding that from us for a while.
Yeah, it was a high school thing for sure.
Okay.
So
there you go. You learned something every day.
Like I remember watching a clip, and it was the behind the back. It was behind the back reverse, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, high school kids are doing that.
Nick was a freak, man.
Yeah, I was like, I couldn't even get the windmill correct in high school, let alone behind the back. I'm like, sheesh.
Yeah, Nick did some stuff in high school that, like, I was on the bench, like, did that just happen? Did he just do that? Like, it's crazy. best offensive player that I've ever had. Easy.
People thought
Best
I was
offensive player.
people thought I was crazy when I used to say that. I used to say, when it comes to offensive talent,
100%.
when it comes to just natural ability, he's top 5 in our NBA.
Yes.
People's like, nah. I was like, he can mimic anything anyone does. Like his knack for picking stuff up when it came to offensive scoring, unreal.
He couldn't guard you, but he could definitely
He could definitely put you in the blender. He could definitely put you in the blender.
He will put a bucket on you. Bro.
So day one, you're coming into the program. How do you get the kids to buy in?
Oh, I really don't even ask. I just make them buy in at first, right? Like at first, they don't even know what it takes to be successful or how hard you have to work to get to, the highest level. So I just spoon feed them and I just make them do it until they understand, right? Like this is what you have to do. Luckily for me at Sierra Canyon, we won the first year I was head coach. And then after you start winning, people don't really ask questions anymore. They get it out.
That definitely helps.
Yeah. So that helped a lot.
But when they come in with expectations, thinking like they're going to be the next 5-star or I'm going to end up here, I could go somewhere early, whatever, that's where it's like, sure, it could be great to get to that point, but we got to take care of square one. You can't put the cart before the horse.
Well, we have a culture at Sierra Canyon, right? Like, it's an expectation that we already have set. These are the things that you do to be successful. And when somebody challenges that, like Gilbert said, the bench is a big time motivator. So I sit them on the bench until they understand what we're trying to accomplish. But I think at the end of the day, they understand after they've been in it for a little while that this is the culture of success. And if you want to, achieve great things, you have to be structured. You have to learn. You have to do things a certain way. And so we just keep our culture locked in as best we can and pull people along.
And it's all right for you to say that, but I want to hear what you think as far as a player goes, knowing that these kids, it can go sideways. Like kids can want to go in a different direction.
It's different than when I was coming up. You got to remember, these kids are playing on AAU super teams, and from the AAU super teams, they're building high school super teams. So for the most part, they're already buying into sharing that spotlight. In a sense, they're already into you got to remember, if a kid says, I'm going to Sierra Canyon, and he knows who's there, mentally, he's already buying into, I'm not going to be the lone wolf going against the world. It's going to be this team I'm trying to. Now remember, I think over the years, national championships, state championships has been a big thing for some of these kids. Making the playoffs was, in the Valley, making the playoffs was was the thing. There was no, super team, and it wasn't really invented then. We had to really buy into team things when it was AAU time. Because, when AAU, you got to remember, a Valley team, and we're playing AAU, you really have to be in sync just to compete with all the talent out there. So, if we're going to Vegas to the big time or Bigfoot tournament, and we're playing in AAU, we are really connected.
Yeah.
We're friends, we're connected, we're buying into whatever that's going on to succeed in, a Vegas thing. So fast forward into now, it seems a little easier because they're already going to the situation knowing that, hey, we're going to share this, we're going to do this. And now it's just the coach to really just make sure that they don't gravitate out yo, hold on. I know you had 30 last night. All right. We still got other players that can do it. We don't need you to just try to do it all yourself. Yeah. You have other players that can, and that's just the coaches okay, I know you're veering off, but come on and just keep straight.
100%. You have to do that often.
Yeah. Because you'll see, because you got to remember, it is a spotlight, and that spotlight is bright. And if you have a good game against a certain team, you're gonna want to stand above when it's like, hold on, yeah, you did it. Okay, this person's he was balling last game, he was balling this game, so it doesn't stand on one person's shoulder,
You just mentioned going to Vegas. This team went to China. last year.
I know.
So what went into that? Because I think people see as like, oh, the high school team went to China, but there's a story to it, right? What's the story behind it?
Yeah, you know, Harold Yu, our 7'3" center, is from China. So we wanted to take the kids to China so that they can see what he experiences every day in America, right? Like to us, the food in China was shaky. But to Harold, when he comes to America, the food, like he has to really search for things that he likes and that he can eat. The language barrier is crazy. So we wanted the kids to experience exactly what he was dealing with on a daily basis to try to make him feel comfortable. So they would pull him into the fold, you know, bring him to the house so they could eat dinner, just to get him acclimated to the culture. So it was a wonderful trip for that.
That's amazing. Because you wouldn't think about it. Like, you know, he's just like, yo, you're American. Hey, what? And you just push him out of the way. And now, well, when he goes to his country, you are there like, yo, what is he say? What is the coach saying?
Exactly. So yeah, it was a great experience for us. We played a game every other day. So travel city to city every other day. And the crowds were nuts. So that was another preparation for, you know, kind of what we were going to deal with, last year with the attention that we got with the arenas and different like.
Was China even worse?
Oh, China! They were chasing after the bus. They were from the game before we get to the hotel. They're at the hotel waiting. You can't get through the doors. Yeah, it was quite an
as you would imagine.
Oh yeah,
There's some big fans there, man. It's crazy.
Big fans.
That lesson of appreciating your teammates and knowing, you know, that they're going, especially if a player's coming from a whole nother country and having to adapt to that culture, like that's one of the best values you can instill in a team. But that's not for every kid. You know, it takes a certain type of kid, I'm sure, that buys in, you know, to the Sierra Canyon system. What is that specifically?
I mean, I think you have to just be crazy tough to deal with, you know, all of the things that we deal with. And I mean, I think one of the wonderful things about our team is that practice is going to be like games for the most part because we are so deep. We can create 5-on-5 situations that really emulate games. And so I think that's, you know, always a wonderful thing because they're going to compete with each other. They are high school monsters, I will say. They get after it. They're not playing games, especially Amari. Like, Amari ain't smiling. I don't care even practice. He ain't smiling. He trying to take your heart like every time that he gets an opportunity to do so. So that really creates an opportunity for us to learn and get better. And just, you know, these guys are going to high-level colleges, possibly NBA. So they're just getting that experience right out the gate.
Yeah, it was so funny. Someone was asking me about Bronny going there. And they was like, where would you rank him in his class? And I said, well, you can't judge him by his numbers because you're not looking at everything that's in front of this man.
100%.
I said, you know, he's understand that he has to take his baby steps because there's a group of guys in front of him. But what you guys are not paying attention to is look who he's practicing and competing with against
daily.
Every single day. You know, and that's what's making him better. That it ain't the game, it's this practice. You know, Amari Bailey, you had Brandon Boston, you got juggernaut players that's 5'3", 1 in the nation. And that's who he gets to see every single day. So if I'm gonna rank him by a senior year, I'm just gonna give him 1. He done played against 1 through 5 his whole career. You just haven't seen it because they're still in the way. So I said, so once you see the kid, his junior, senior year, his rank is gonna go from wherever it is to 1, 2.
That man is going to be a monster. His junior, senior year, for sure.
Yeah, and I think that's really that's the totem pole, right? When you're underclassmen, you got to work your way up. There's guys ahead of you, and the guys up ahead of you, they want to stay there. I don't want you to take that.
Like this is I thought, like, you know, in any situation, that was the best situation for him at this point. Because he gets to watch what hunger looks like.
Absolutely.
When you're a kid who has everything, like He doesn't have to work out if he don't want. He don't have to do nothing if he doesn't want. He can sit in this.
Just fine.
You know, and
Exactly.
so, but you know, you get to watch other kids who's hungry, who's looking at you. It's like, oh, you're Bronny? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, yeah. I'm gonna show you. Like every day in practice, and you have to battle every day in practice. That builds a whole nother player. Even though you're not unleashing it in the game, because you got to remember, there's already big lions in front of you.
Exactly.
When those big lions are gone, you are the big lion. You know what I mean? I said that's a different experience that you're not going to see it until his junior, senior year. Yeah. So to everyone, he's going to come out of the Windsworth, but it's like, no, you can see it right now that.
Absolutely.
He got Bailey. This man don't smile.
No.
Like, this man don't smile. He's trying to take your head off. That's who he gets to compete against. That's who's sharpening his iron right
100%.
now. A man who don't smile, everything's serious.
Yeah, definitely.
And did that go into Bronny's move to come there? I remember at the time in LA, it was, where's he going to go to Crossroads? Is he going to go to Notre Dame? And Sierra really offered that. Like, you're one of the lions. You're in the pack. And it's going to make you better.
Yeah, I mean, obviously LeBron and Savannah just wanted to gauge the basketball community for a year when they got here to see what was going on. But LeBron fully understands that putting him in a competitive high school experience is going to get him ready for the next level. He could have put him in a place where he went in as the man and, you know, wasn't competing on a daily basis. But the competition that he gets, the experience that he gets is going to prepare him to be at a skyrocket. It's going to be a quick shift.
Yeah.
People are going to be like, oh, he was just okay.
Yeah.
Oh, he's the best player in the country.
Yeah,
all of a sudden.
That's what I said. It's going to be a quick shift.
Sure.
Because you can see that would be the drive. If you go somewhere else, you could potentially plateau if you're the big fish in a small pond.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I said. You have the Mikey Williams, you have these guys, but I look at it like you're getting game experience but what is the real experience? What is the competition you're playing against? You know what I mean? You know, you're averaging 30, but is that next level talent?
Right.
You know, is that, no. So you might get a false of confidence of what you really are. What is your, because you haven't had a downfall, so you don't know what rock bottom looks like. And if you ever get hit, do you know how to climb out of it? Well, if you're starting rock bottom and you have to build, you have to build to be the top line, it's a difference. Wow. That's why I said, that's a great situation because he gets to watch hunger, compete against
I was gonna say it creates a deeper hunger. When you're that one guy, the one-man band that's always getting the ball thrown to them and you got to do everything,
that's how players like Steph were created. CJ, you're these little guys getting beat on day after day. You started like, you know what, I'm not going to take this thing.
Exactly.
You start working on a whole different type of craft.
Definitely.
So how do you, knowing that these kids are going to come through and they've got all the stuff that's in front of them, how do you manage that to where you're preparing them for the travel, the schedule, getting the opponent's best shot every night, like the dynamics in the team?
We just talk about it and tell them what's coming, right? I think one of the things that we preach in our program is like, you got to have tough conversations. You got to tell kids the truth, and I'm dealing with boys that are transitioning to become men. So the sooner that we can have real conversations with them and tell them the truth, I think they start to grasp it a little bit more. And then if they don't believe it, when they get the experience, they start to believe it. Coach said that this was going to happen. And then we get into the situation and it really happens that way. They're like, oh, he's not lying to me. He's trying to prepare me for something and tell me the truth about it. And I think, we build a level of trust because I have real conversations and we don't shy away from what the real is in any situation.
Everything that we've talked to, it all comes down to competition. You can have all the sideshow, you can have all the hype, all that stuff, but it's the competition. And I think, Gil, you can appreciate this too. You are competing at the highest stage at your, at this level. So how do you get them all to lock in when it's time to lock in?
I think, if you're a player, you want to play the best teams in the country. You want to play against the best individual players in the country. I don't have to act a fool in those games. I have to act up in the games where we're playing teams that are supposed to not be very good, but they're coming in and giving us their best shot. So that's when I have to really get on them and, you know, get them locked in and ready to go. When we play high-level competition, they're on their P's and Q's. They're ready to go. They're stretching an hour before the game. They're meeting with the trainer. They're doing everything that they need to do. So we want to be the best. Like in the state of California, we want to be the best in the nation. So we know in order to do that, we're going to have to go play the Mount Birds of the world, right? California doesn't let us play them in the regular season. We're going to try to find you in the preseason. Anything that we can do to try to play Mount Bird, we're going to try to do it because we know that competition is what breeds greatness. You have to have it in order to go to the next level.
Yeah, you know, the funny thing there too is that you're getting somebody's best shot every night, which is the thing about the program.
That's the trick. When you're chasing greatness, right? And you're saying, yeah, they get up for these. I never have the active food for these. It's these. And that's when you tell them, hey, how you're chasing Mount Vernon, someone's chasing you.
Hey, yes, they are.
You're chasing
a big target on your back.
You're chasing, you're number 3 right now. You're chasing number 2 and 1. Number 10 is looking at you.
Yeah.
You don't even know he exists, but he's looking at you. So you have to always be ready to smash down on everyone.
The craziest part is like we'll play a fall league game and somebody will beat us and they're running around the gym celebrating like they won the championship. And the kids are always like, this is a fall league game. But you don't understand. They want what you have. And if you just let them think that they can beat you. So now they're celebrating because they feel like, you know, we just beat Sierra Canyon. If we play them in a regular season, we could beat them too.
Yep. And that like you have to smack that. And that's why I hate the AAU rules and the AAU mindset or just the whole mindset. And I think it's just only in basketball, sportsmanship. The sportsmanship word only works in basketball. So if you're up 20 with 3 minutes left, you're supposed to take all your stars out. The losing team can keep all their stars in.
Yes.
And they get to do whatever they want to do. But the winners, they have to sit, ice, and chill while this team gets to try to make a comeback. And I say that's how miracles are made. That's how comebacks are made because the other team still has the starters in. You don't, and they get to come back. By the time you put yours back in, they're on hot fire. You got to get back in. Now, this miracle of a 20-point deficit, it happens because sportsmen like conduct and all that. No, that's not a real thing. Like, I'm here. This team is trying to get here. If I don't let this team know that they don't belong in this league, then they're gonna, they lost, we beat them by 30. Oh, they lost by 10. Now they really coming up for game 2 thinking, oh, we have a, no. I'm gonna beat you by 50, 60, 70. I don't care what happened. So you know, game 2, it's over before we started. Now my team doesn't have to work as hard because they done beat your ass really bad the first time. But now you done made this a close game because I can't press now and I can't do this and I gotta make 7 passes around because we gotta let the babies come back and pretend they're having fun. It's just a dumb way of thinking. Like I've watched so many NBA games and college games and you know, they're up 20 passing the ball around and now you done took the gas off. They still got their gas on and they come back and win. And now the everybody's talking about this great comeback and you reward the team that you gave a handicap to. Like,
yes, we had in the high school game, it's right at 20 points. You get up by 20, the other coach is expecting you to take the press off. You're not gonna leave your people in. And so, like Gil says, sometimes you do that and everybody's icing and then they cut the lead to 8 and you're like, take the ice off because you gotta get back in the game. But, you know, like, you know, Chino Hills a couple years ago with the Ball brothers, they didn't care who you were. They was trying to score 170. And I think, you know, that's kind of what we're gonna start doing because you have to establish yourself. People at this level that we play, they gonna beat you by 60 if they can.
Yeah, that's what I said. It just never made it just never made sense to me.
But it's time for Ask Agent Zero, and I think you've had something cooking for a while.
Yes, so I was supposed to go to Grant High School.
Uh-huh.
I went and met with Levine. He said he was gonna start me on the CB team. And I was like, what? I'm not coming to Grant. You have to tell me, why did you end up going to Grant? Why did you choose Grant?
Okay, so I went to Birmingham my first year. That was the year when they had David Redmond.
That's right.
Stanley Fletcher. They had Fahim, the point guard. They had a big guy named Kizzy. Emmanuel Evans.
Yep.
Super stud in both sports.
Uh-huh.
So they had that super team. So I was on JV. I went there because of, David Redmond, them. That was part of my dad's Park Leagues team.
Definitely, yeah.
So, I didn't play my first year, and I'm training. So I lived across the street from Grant. So I'm training, 6 in the morning, just training in the summer. Like, I'm gonna be better this year. And I remember Eric Brown.
Yes, sir. I worked with Eric Brown, CSUN.
Yeah, Eric Brown was watching me. He was like, hey, what grade you in? I told him. He's like, what school you going to? I told him, why are you over here? I was like, I live across the street.
Yeah.
He's like, so how do you go to that school? I was like, oh, I'm in the magnet program.
Yeah.
Right.
That's how I got to Cleveland.
Yeah, hit him with the magnet program. And then what ends up happening is, I guess Levine was watching me every single morning because he had golf. So he had his golf group.
Got it.
So I'm not knowing that, the coach is watching, but he's watching me work out every single morning, and then one day he was like, hey, I'm having tryouts, would you like to try out for my team? So I'm thinking JV, and then end up being a varsity tryout. And then I'm going against a kid from Tennessee. And I outplayed him, and coach was like, all right, we're gonna have summer league soon. Come to our summer league game before you make a decision. We go, we're playing the Van Nuys tournament.
Yeah.
And playing against a kid, I don't know if you remember, Isaiah Thomas.
Oh, yeah.
Played against Isaiah, had like 20 at the half. Coach pulled me over and said, hey, listen, you're gonna be an NBA player. If you come here, I will do any and everything it takes for you to be an NBA player if you want it.
Oh, that's cool.
So I'm like,
very cool.
Man, this nigga, they must not have seen me last year.
Get over here
he
real
must
quick.
not have seen me last year. And then what ended up happening is I get there, and then from there, he dismantles the team, got rid of, 2 players, opened up the gym before school, nutrition, lunch, on the weekends.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't, from what I seen, it wasn't the same guy when, when you see him, like, he's crazy.
Yeah.
You see that from the sideline watching him, but when it was up close, it was different.
Oh, that's cool.
He reminded me of Indiana coach.
Bobby Knight.
Reminded me of the Bobby Knight style.
Yeah.
But when I got there, totally, it was like he was more offensively, he was defense, but he was offensively just do you.
I ain't done with you.
Okay.
What did you learn at Arizona that prepared you for the league?
It was, because I went into Arizona as a could possibly be a red shirt. That's what I thought. I was going to be a red shirt. I didn't know they had plans one day he's going to be, or understanding the process of a pecking order. I was always the top guy. In AAU, I was always put in situations where I was the best player, besides my JV year. But it's like, I'm young, I'll be the man one day. Here it's like you got All-American. That's your team is All-Americans.
Yes.
They're Lou Record. They're players are coming in, like, you know, so in understanding how to work, how to train, how to compete. You know, like I have walk-ons challenging me in, you know, a mile run. You know what I mean? So, you know, you just have competition coming from everywhere. Yeah, he might not be a great basketball player, but he's a track star. Now I got to compete with him on it, that part of it. You know, it's, you know, so it's just understanding, like, what a playbook is. You know, like, here, learn, you better, wrong spot, timeout, out.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, we just wrote it. You forgot all the information in 5 seconds. So now learning how to retain the information and not zone out, you know, not zone out. You know, when the timeout, you sitting there drinking water and you trying to zone, there a real play just got drawn up. And you got to remember to, you know, once you left, because if you can't retain 5 minutes of information, that means that coach can't trust you.
No doubt.
You know, so it's just understanding, like, how to be a pro, how to be a basketball player, you know, overall.
All right, last one. You talked about the process quite a few times in the, you know, during the interview. What is the process for you? Like, if you're speaking to kids today, like, what is trusting the process? What does that look like as an individual player?
One, you have to trust the person that has the authority. You can't go into a situation and not trusting that he's gonna have your best interest at heart. So from there, it's understanding what he's asking. Never listen to the tone. Listen to the information. What is he trying to tell me? What is he trying to tell me? Like, I know, like, in heated moments, it becomes louder and it looks like he's yelling, but what is he actually saying? Once you get that part down, then from there, then you know how to prepare.
Yeah.
Understand, prepared. Okay, he wants me to do this. He wants me to run the team. Okay, he plays more than me, so what is he doing? All right, okay, I can watch what he's doing, add my little flavor, and then from that, see if that's successful. Like, it's learning.
Definitely.
You know, like, the process is learning, being willing to learn.
All right, so we can put a bow on things here. You're a guy that is at the forefront of where the future is going. We said it's a high-profile program. Everyone's got their eyes on you, targets on the team in a good way. It's a good problem to have. Where do you think things are going? What's the future?
I think the high school game is going to be operating at the level of the college game in the next 5 to 7 years, which, you know, I think for me, I'm trying to make the Valley the Mecca of LA basketball, right? Like, everybody talks about the city, things like that, but I'm trying to make the Valley the Mecca. So for me, like, the more competitive teams that we have out here, the better for us. The more that the game starts to get elevated and we're on television, the more the coaches start to get paid, right? Coaches are not teaching anymore. They're strictly coaches and mentor and, you know, building programs and building young men. I think the most important thing that we can do as a coach is build young men. And if we're doing that, and those guys are going off and being productive, you know, citizens in society, they're turning into politicians, they're owning their own businesses, they're doing things outside of the game. That's where I think that we're going. It's where I want to go. And so that's where I'm pushing Sierra Canyon towards. And I hope others follow, because, you know, in order to be great, you got to have people pushing you to be great. So we need competition.
So you don't have to teach now?
I didn't say that yet.
I'm
trying to get there.
The future. It's going. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm trying to get there.
Because I was like, wait a minute, I might jump into the high school. Because I know before you had to teach like PE or something, right?
Yeah, I'm an administrator. I have master's degrees in education, so I get to be an administrator. But, you know, there are coaches that are teachers. There are coaches that are, like, you know, security on campus in different places.
Okay, so it's not fully
a
coach yet.
No, that's where I think we need to get to, so that coaches are being honored at the high school level at the same level that they're being honored at the college game.
There's hope for you yet.
There's hope.
Exactly.
I want to teach these little bastards nothing but the game. I just want to teach them the game.
Just the game.
Just the game.
That's it.
Exactly.
Coach, thanks for coming on. We appreciate
you having me. Yes, sir.
right in the
Thank you,
backyard.
sir. No
Of
doubt.
course, we're fans and we love to watch.
Did we ever play against each other?
No.
No.
He's a little older.
No.
No, you
but-
mean our teams.
No. Like
Oh,
Valley
I don't
College
think
or
we
something.
played pickup even. Nah,
because
I would have shut your butt down.
Because that's what they said. Like that was like they was like, yo,
I was a
Drake,
straight
go.
defender.
You know, actually, I
I'm
should
just a
have
straight
brought this
defender.
up, but Hall of Fame at CSUN.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
No,
Yeah.
that's what I said. Drake, like, because I remember we had what was the guard at USC that came back? Small, stocky.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Oh, man, he was thick.
Yes, that's what I said. So like, we didn't have the LA, but we had like it was like legends here.
Oh, yeah.
He was one of them. Like he was the
Valley
legend.
College. Yeah.
I was like, man,
I play defense. That's how I got.
That's what I said. I'm gonna run up against him. I'm gonna give him buckets. I swear. It was like, I don't know about all that. I'm gonna give him buckets.
I don't know. When I checked, I think it was all-time leading scorer at CSUN, assists and steals.
Yeah.
Did I leave anything out?
Free throw, a couple of free throws. I was leading in free throws.
Yeah, that's what I said. But that's what I said. Coming from the Valley, like, you got the college guys coming back, overseas guys. Like to us, they were pros. They didn't give a shit what you talking about. And they didn't. If they didn't make it to they were pros. So they'd be like Valley College. Valley College. Yeah, I'm gonna get them.
Valley College.
That's what I said. I just never ran into him.
Mike Law put me on at Valley College.
Bro.
Yeah. So it was cool.
Was Shane still running it?
I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As I said, this is the only guy I didn't get to run into.
Yep.
I got bopped by everybody else.
Yeah, you got him back then. And
No. Everybody knows this. It wasn't. You gotta remember, like top high school kid, like it's like, okay, nah, I want the Valley College players. Like you were trying to look for, because you gotta remember, unless you went to LA, the competition here, it was the adults.
Exactly.
It was the college guys coming back, the pros coming back. So it was those guys coming back that was really sharpening our skills. So it was like we didn't want to play against the kids. We wanted to Balboa early in the morning. We're trying to get on the court like, come on, man, just let me one time. He's right there. Let me just.
Exactly.
let me see what I got.
Yeah.
You gotta do it.
All right, well, the Valley is the Mecca. It's starting to sink in. We're getting it out there more and more. So for the Valley champ right over there, Gilbert Arenas,
Amen.
Coach Andre Chevalier,
Yes, sir.
from Sierra Canyon. I'm Mike Botticello. This has been No Chill with Gilbert Arenas. Remember, you can catch us every Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern on the Fubo Sports Network, and we'll see you next time.